You just do some small user interviewing sort of thing. Perhaps that may not qualify for high validity research. Maybe then you need to discuss the whole project, and maybe that user little bit of user research that you did could be just a component in it. Then you also do lot of quasi experiments, which have external validity. For example, paper prototyping, non-functional user interface prototypes, visualization of interaction. We always do that. We build a prototype, it is non-functional. So that has only external validity, because the system actually is not functional. So you can perhaps only look at the way things are organized and seek feedback on it. So that has very partial external type of validity. And true experiments is something very, very important, because they have internal validity. So maybe you have a functional prototype and you carry out user testing. You have a final product, or you have planned certain experiments in the real world, wherein you actually conduct those experiments. You have defined the conditions, the kind of stimulus that you have chosen. So these are true experiments. So true experiments have internal validity. So again, based on these, so this also helps you in assessing what is the quality of paper that is likely to come out, because your confidence level can also be based on that, because finally when it goes for an international conference, they would be more keen on experiments that have internal validity, so it's really deep and everything is in real terms, it's not something like real, but it is real, so generally the weightage and the confidence is higher. So whereas if it is only an external kind of prototype, then you have to rest on the novelty of the idea, because it's not functional, but the idea must be really novel. It should really be, it should really burst the crackers whenever somebody reads it. It should be that great idea. So you need to know, where you fit and what level of expectation is there. So generally, a typical project would move from this to this. You also have pilot projects, and pilot projects also make very good case study papers. Then the research techniques, the type of techniques that you apply, So literature study, prototyping, appreciative inquiry, okay, case study papers. Studying a case. A banking project, something which somebody has implemented. You do a case study of how they started, how they ended, what are the results, so that the same pitfalls or the mistakes could be avoided. Structured interview, focus groups, questionnaires, surveys, experimentation. Experimentation is actually you design experiments and have testing, trials in real conditions, ethnography, model-based evaluation, heuristic reviews, analysis, interpretation, and so on. So many techniques. And while doing all these things, what is important is the meta-level thinking. If we are not good at meta-level thinking, you will realize that it will be very difficult to put a paper together. Meta-level thinking is the ultimate thing that you gain while when you write a paper. What we mean by meta-level thinking is, if you look at the artisans, you must have seen a lot of artisans who make very good handicrafts. If you ask them, can you tell me how you manage the process? He will not be able to tell how he does it. He says, it's a traditional thing and we just do it, and I can do it. However, you ask a project manager, he will give you a process. He will say, these are the points which I need to manage. So process managing, that level of thinking is meta-level thinking. So to be able to see the activities, with an aerial view and developing some understanding about it. So paper essentially helps you in developing meta-level thinking. Construction of hypothesis. Hypothesis is basically when you look at these larger, like if you see global warming is what? It is a hypothesis. There are many people who say there is nothing happening like that, forget about it. What the carbon production that we do is negligible compared to the volume of atmosphere, the size of the earth. It is so huge that this is negligible. When you have doing all these things, what sort of papers are likely to come out? What are the broad types of papers that you have? You have empirical papers. So you have, apparatus, materials, observations, results, answers to research questions. These are the types of things. We did this was the stimulus, and this is how users responded, this is how you classify the response, and these are the broad understanding.